So you're an Indian law student, or maybe a young lawyer, and you're hunting for a niche. Something that's not just challenging, but actually really rewarding? Well, you've landed in the right spot. Today, we're putting together a complete career playbook for what I like to call the GI Gold Rush. This incredible emerging field in intellectual property that is just blowing up with opportunities for lawyers in India.
Okay, let's just dive right in. When you think of protected Indian products, what comes to mind? Darjeeling tea, right? But get this, there are now over 600 registered GIs in India, and believe me, that number is going up every single year. So this isn't just some tiny niche, it's a whole universe of opportunity that's expanding like crazy. We are talking about a literal treasure trove of unique Indian products that all need sharp legal minds to protect them.
All right, to help you make sense of this awesome landscape, I've laid this all out like a playbook. First, we'll get into why this field is exploding, the GI Gold Rush. Then we'll map out the 4 main career paths you can actually take. After that, we're going to peek at the salary potential, because let's be real, that matters. Then I'll give you an actual actionable roadmap to get you started. And finally, we'll talk about why this whole thing is so much bigger than just a job.
Okay, let's kick things off with Section 1, the GI Gold Rush. So what is fueling this explosion in GI law? And why is it becoming so incredibly valuable right now?
So first, what exactly is a GI? Well, think of it like a seal of authenticity. It's basically a stamp that says, hey, this product right here, it's the real deal. When you see the Darjeeling tea GI, you know for sure you're getting that specific tea from that specific region with that unique flavor. It's a total game changer for branding, for rural development, and for protecting our amazing cultural heritage.
Now that we've got the basics covered, let's talk about you. How do you turn this into a career? Well, there are really 4 main paths you can take as a GI law specialist. So think of this next part as your own professional map, a guide to navigating this exciting new territory.
First up, there's the government and regulatory track. This is the perfect path if you're looking for stability and a real chance to shape policy from the inside. You could become an examiner of trademarks and GI through the UPSC exam, which, is a pretty big deal. Or you could work directly at the GI registry in Chennai, which is the heart of everything GI in India. Plus, there are roles popping up in state IPR cells and export councils too.
Next, you've got the classic law firm route. And let me tell you, this is where the action is. You'll be on the front lines, working directly with clients in a super fast-paced world. One day you could be drafting a GI application for a community of artisans, and the very next you could be in court, fighting to protect a major brand from getting ripped off. It's dynamic, it's challenging, and the potential for growth is just huge.
Path number 3 takes you in-house. Just think about it. All those companies exporting iconic Indian products like basmati rice or pashmina shawls, they desperately need lawyers who get GI law. You'd be the one making sure they're compliant, helping them build their brand across the globe, and protecting their most valuable assets as they share these amazing products with the world.
And finally, there's the development and policy track. This is for all of you who really want to make a direct impact. You could find yourself working with NGOs, or even agencies like the UN, helping artisan and farmer communities protect their traditional knowledge, and finally get the credit they deserve. Or you could dive into academia, researching and literally shaping the future of GI law in India. It's all about preserving our heritage and making sure the benefits flow back to the people who create these incredible things.
So when you're starting out, you're really looking at 2 main entry points: government or law firms. The government path, that's about stability, a clear career ladder, and the chance to actually influence policy. Law firms, on the other hand, offer a much more dynamic, high-octane environment with the potential for faster growth and, higher salaries. So it really just comes down to what you want. You want to be a policy shaper or a high-stakes player?
All right, let's get to the question that's on everyone's mind. Let's talk money. In our 3rd section, we are diving into the salary snapshot for GI lawyers. What can you actually expect to earn in this field?
The good news is, right out of the gate, the salaries are pretty impressive. If you land a job at a good IP law firm, you can expect to start somewhere in the range of 50 to 75,000 rupees a month. And the government examiner role? Also a great option. It comes with a really solid starting salary, plus all the benefits and security of a central government job. So whichever path you choose, you're going to be starting off on the right foot financially.
But the real story here, honestly, is the long-term growth, especially if you take that law firm route. You'll start out as a junior associate, sure, but before you know it, you could be a senior associate, pulling in over 20 lakh rupees a year. And from there, it is a clear path to partnership, and that's where the real money is.
Yep.
Once you have put in the time, you've built your reputation as a go-to expert in GI and branding, you are looking at some seriously good money. We're talking 30 lakh rupees a year, and honestly, that's just the starting point for senior partners. The financial rewards for becoming a specialist in this field are absolutely massive.
So, we've established the opportunity is huge, and the money is great. But the big question is, how do you actually get there? Well, that's what this next section is all about, your GI career roadmap. I'm going to give you some real, concrete steps you can take to become a GI law specialist. And you know what the best part is? You can start building your profile right now, while you're still in law school. Seriously. Get to know the GI Act of 1999 inside and out. Hunt down internships with top IP firms, or hey, even with the GI registry itself. Start writing and publishing papers on GI topics. And don't sleep on the business side of things. You gotta understand how supply chains and branding really work.
Look, think of your career like a journey. The first couple of years, that's all about building a rock-solid foundation. Then, you'll start getting that crucial real-world experience, whether it's in a law firm or a government role. And then, somewhere around years 4 to 7, you'll hit that sweet spot and become a recognized expert in the GI and branding space. It's a clear path to success, and it is totally within your reach.
Okay, so we've covered the career paths, we've talked about the money, and we've laid out the roadmap to get there. But let's zoom out for a second. What's the bigger picture here? Why does this niche matter so much beyond just being a fantastic career move?
This quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. As a GI lawyer, you're not just some person pushing paper around. No way. You are at the absolute forefront of India's export economy. You are helping drive rural development. You are preserving our priceless cultural heritage. Your expertise becomes a powerful tool for both economic growth and real social impact.
So let's wrap this up. What's the bottom line? GI law is a booming field with a ton of opportunity. You've got these 4 diverse career paths to choose from. The salary potential is fantastic, especially in the long run. And the best part? You can start laying the groundwork to become an expert right now, today.
You know, we started this whole conversation with that number, 600. But it's so much more than a number. It's 600 stories, 600 communities, 600 living, breathing traditions. So as you think about your future, the question I want to leave you with is this. Which of India's incredible stories will you choose to protect?